Sup Internet, today I'm going to be ranking the appeasement plants from Plants vs. Zombies. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 14 is Peapod. Peapod, it's just like a normal pea shooter, except it costs more. Plus its plant food effect isn't quite as good as pea shooters, and it's really just a more expensive pea shooter for technically less defense as well. Number 13 is Free Peter. Free Peter shoots one pea in each lane, um, on its lane and on the lanes next to it, which sounds pretty good, except that it's 300 sun cost, which seems to make sense, because a normal pea shooter is 100, so it would be 3 times as much. Except this means that you can't do any attacks until you've pulled together 300 sun. Its plant food effect is decent though it's still not worth it. Number 12 is Repeater. Like Free Peter, it's just two pea shooters, which seems to make sense for its cost, but once again, you can't actually do any damage until you've pulled together that much sun, which isn't really worth it when you could have two pea shooters by that time. Number 11 is Peashooter. Peashooter is decent, but it's pretty basic. It does minimal damage, and it only shoots in one lane and can only hit one zombie. It's pretty good at the start of worlds, but apart from that, there's really no use for it. Number 10 is Tumbleweed. Tumbleweed is actually pretty good. It knocks back zombies and does a bit of damage. But you have to get the timing and positioning absolutely right for it to do big damage, and it's not that useful apart from with Torchwood. Number 9, Split Pea. Split Pea is like a normal pea shooter, except it has a repeater at the back, and it only costs an extra 25 sun. So you can put this behind zombies once they've started coming through for what's effectively then a repeater for almost half the cost. But in most situations, it's just a slightly more expensive pea shooter, but it can be pretty useful, especially with stuff like pterodactyls and dynamite zombies. Number 8 is Rotobagger. Rotobagger is a pretty good plant. It shoots in 4 directions, each diagonal. So it can hit in a very unique range, though it really doesn't do much damage. It is a flying plant though, which is pretty useful in Big Wave Beach. Also, if you position it right, it can hit multiple zombies and not being eaten. So that's pretty good, but it's really not worth the extra 50 sun. Number 7 is Red Stinger. Red Stinger is basically a repeater, except it costs way less. Also, its plant food effect is way better than a repeater's. You can get this pretty early in the Lost Age thing, so it's not that hard to obtain either. The only problem is that it gets into a defensive form when zombies get near, but other than that, it's a pretty good plan. Number 6 is Primal Peashooter. Primal Peashooter is actually really good. It can flinch zombies and occasionally will knock them back. It costs 75 sun more than normal pea shooter, but personally I'd say that's worth it. Its plant food effect is just shooting multiple at a time, so it's really not that good. Though if you can time this with a blower correctly, you can instantly kill even the toughest of zombies. Number 5 is Pvine. Pvine's like a normal pea shooter, except if you plant an appeasement plant on top of it, Pvine will boost that plant's damage. Also, if you use a plant food on it while there's another plant on top of it, both of them will get the plant food, which is really neat. It has the same plant food effect as pea shooter, so basically it's just a pea shooter, except it's better in every way. Number 4, Starfruit. Starfruit can shoot in 4 different directions. Above, below it, behind it, and diagonally forward. It costs 125 sun, so it's pretty much 25 sun per shot. Their only real problem is that it can't shoot in front of it, meaning that if a zombie gets in front of it, it has an easy walk to eat it. Though you could easily use other star fruits or other plants to deal with that. And other than that, it's pretty good. Number 3 is Torchwood. While Torchwood doesn't actually do any damage unless when it's eaten, it's really good because the majority of appeasement projectiles will be set on fire, doing double the damage, which is really sweet. Also, when a zombie eats it, it turns into a jalapeno and burns all the zombies on that lane, which is also pretty sweet. Its plant food effect makes it fire turn blue, meaning all the appeasement um projectiles that go through it turn into plasma instead of normal fire, which do 3 times the normal damage. So if you can get enough of those up, you're pretty much for a straight win. Number 2 is Dandelion. Dandelion, like Repeater, can attack in its lane and the lanes next to it. Um, though this one only costs 225, plus its attacks do more damage. Also, if you can mix it with a Hurricane or a Blover, it can do amazing damage, shooting its projectiles all across the field and hitting all the zombies. The only problem with that is that it has to recharge after a while, but other than that, it's pretty good. Number 1 is Bowling Bulb. Bowling Bulb only does 40 damage with its smallest bulb, which is a decent amount. Though with the bigger bulbs, it does more and more. And as soon as you get it up to level 3, it'll recharge its blue bulb first, and then orange, and then aquamarine, making it a super powerful appeasement plant. Also, unlike most other appeasement plants, it can hit multiple zombies with one shot, which is really useful for crowd control. Also, its plant food does the exact same thing, except it creates an explosion every time it hits a zombie. So, doing even more damage than it already was. And that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching and have a good one. Oh, please like and subscribe.